Hello everybody, Pedro here. I just decided to start a series of videos to improve my own knowledge in Android development with Jetpack Compose as well. But it would be awesome if this content can also help anyone else. However, I need to be honest here that I'm not a professional developer. I worked in the past. I have studied in the past a little as well, but today I'm not working with that. My name is Renan Pedro. As you probably noticed from my accent, I am Brazilian, but I'm living here in New Zealand, and today I work as a network engineer. And I want to come back to the development area, so that's gonna be my journey. And I hope you guys enjoyed these videos as well. I hope this can be useful to anyone else. So pretty much that's it. If you want to join me and come along and learn with me, that would be awesome. Let's do it. Let's do it. To start here, of course, you will need Android Studio installed in your machine. I'm sure there's plenty of videos to help you go through this. Of course, this is probably the easiest part of your life from now on, because you just need to download and install, unless you're using Linux, which will make it a little bit harder, but not that much. Alright guys, so as soon as you have your Android Studio installed, let's go in New Project and select Empty Compose Activity and then Next. Here we can type the name of our application. I would like fundamentals, whatever. It gives me already a package name. We go through this later. And you don't need to change. I have a different setup here, but you can leave as the Android Studio is showing you right now. And here you have to select the SDK, which you should accept the recommendation of the Android Studio as well. You have more options. Just so you understand a little bit better, let's go and help me choose here. And it shows you the different APIs and Android platform versions. Sorry. And you see that here on the API level 21, you cover 98% of all devices. You could even use this one here, which will cover more, and however you don't want to do this, because the SDK is a software development kit which will give you tools basically, and if you choose the lowest or the oldest versions, you might not have the more important tools. You just have the old stuff, you know? So you don't want to use the old stuff, but you also don't want to use the newest stuff, because it will cover less devices and your application will not run for everybody. So you don't want to do this. So just stick with the Android Studio is giving to you. You see that doesn't actually, like as an example, I don't even have an option to go for the lowest one here, because see 16 and I'm selecting 21. That's the lowest one, and that's because I selected a compose activity, and Jetpack Compose will not work in the APIs, the older APIs. But if I go previous and I select basic activity, you will see that you have now the possibility to choose the other ones. However, you will not be able to use Jetpack Compose. So I'll come back here, Empty Compose Activity, and then Next, Fundamentals. All right, I'll continue this. I'll keep this one, and then finish. Yeah, and then Android Studio will build my project for me, and then we just need to wait for a lifetime. So as you can see here, Android Studio already create a project to me and create a main activity file with some stuff. I will make it easier for us to start and I will delete everything that's not actually required right now. So let's delete all those, so we can start from the very beginning. Okay, so in the first line we have the package. That's just saying that our file belongs to this package. If we expand here the next line, you will see some imports. We are just importing different packages to our project. You will see that those are gray because they are not being used anymore, because I deleted a few things here. And now those packages are useless and I will delete it. Okay? If I put the cursor above those ones, you will see that Android Studio shows you where they are being used. See? And that's why they are required for now here. On the left side, we have our project. And you have a few ways here to see the project. Okay, we are using Android, but I could instead change it to files, which will give me exactly how it is on my hard drive installed. So I have this file here, and inside this I have app, source, main, java.com, example, fundamentals, and then finally our main activity. Just so you see the packages, see our package here, and we have all other packages. We are adding those packages which are in libraries, and if you go in Android, then we have to find here OS, and then inside OS you have file here. So we are adding this file to our project. Let's open this. I'll decide later. So see, we are adding all this stuff to our project, and now we can use it. It's just so you understand. I will put back to Android here. All right, guys, I think we are ready to do some work here, and let's start with functions. So first we'll create a function here called main screen. And that's how you basically declare a function. Just type fun and whatever you want to call it. As a good practice in Kotlin, the first word in the name of the function you will type in lower case, and from the second onwards you will type the first character in capital. Okay, that's just a good practice. In fact, you could type anything you want, whatever you want, but that's just a good practice. Okay, now what is a function? A function basically is a block of code that perform a single task. Okay, in fact, you could have more than one task. You can even have a function inside another one, but let's not complicate too much now. In other words, whatever you code inside will be executed once this function is called. And that brings us to another thing important. We don't want to create this function inside the main activity. We want to create it outside, okay? And we want to call the function from our main activity. This way, when we execute our application, it will call our function and then it will execute it. Why we want to do this? Because this way we can reuse our function many times, or how many times we want, okay? And also because it makes it more clear to understand the code. Great. So another thing is, first, we will not create a normal function. We want to create a function that design our UI. And we are going to use composable. Therefore, we need to add a annotation called composable. You will notice that it also automatically added the package here on top. And now this function is a composable function that will, in other words, create our UI. So is dedicated to create our UI, okay? Because it's a composable function, we will change a little bit the good practice. For composable functions, we want to type all words with the first character in capital. So we want to main screen. I'll have to change here as well because it is case sensitive. And now it's recognized. Let's print something here. To do this, we are going to use a function, a pre-existing function in Jetpack Compose called text. And we have to import it. So you can type or press Alt plus Enter and we'll import. And you will be given to you a few options. We want to select the first one. As you can see, Compose. It will add the package to use that function, and inside of parentheses we type quotes. Between quote we can type hello world, and that's it. Now to see it working, we will need to add another annotation here called preview. This annotation will then display on the left side here whatever is on the composable function just next to it, okay? I'm saying that because sometimes you might have more than one function here, and because we put the preview only in this function, only this function will be displayed, okay? So let's come back here to what it was, and that's it. Oh, okay, so in the right side, did I say left side? In the right side, we can now just press this button, or then press Ctrl Shift F5, Ctrl Shift F5. That will compose our UI and display whatever we code here. So hello world, and that's it. Another way to see the results of whatever we are coding here would be to run an emulator. And to open it, to create it, we have to go in View, to Windows, Device Manager. Or you can just go in this icon here, Device Manager. And we have to select Create Device. We select the resolution. And next. We can, and we will need in this case to download one of the configurations we want. It seems like this is a recommendation. Not really, but I will download this one. And I'll come back once it's done. Okay, that just finished, and I can then click on finish, and then next. I don't actually need to change anything here, so I just go finish, and that's done. Now I can run my emulator. So as you can see here, my emulator opening inside of Android Studio, which is okay. I don't know if you prefer to use this way. I don't like much. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna close the device manager here. See, it expands, but I don't like it because it starts to conflict with what I'm seeing here on the preview, compose preview. So I want to do this different. I'll go in File and Settings, I guess, and yeah, we have to go in Tools and then Emulator, and we can uncheck this box here, Launch into in a tool window. Because I already launched it, it's still here. But let's try and close it. And I'm gonna launch again. This time I will already launch using this button here, which will not only launch the emulator, but also runs our application here inside this emulator. Okay, so I'm gonna press play and let's see if it's gonna open in a different way. And there we go. So see, it's in a different way, and I actually prefer, because I can even sometimes I don't want to use it. I prefer to use the preview compose way because it's quicker sometimes. But it's interesting to see how it really will show the application, especially now that we didn't create anything else. We just typing hello world, and here we don't have a background. So here you can see properly what we have done for now. So I think that's good enough for this first video. Of course, I want to show lots of other things, but I think maybe we can continue in the next video, okay? So thank you for watching, and I see you on the next video. Cheers.